Welcome to Toksave, Culture Talks, the podcast of PARADISEC, the Pacific and Regional Archive for digital sources in endangered cultures. I'm Jodie Kell.
And I'm Stephen Gagau. These are conversations with people who have personal and cultural connections to the languages and music in our archive.
It's early morning in May 2018 at 3 Mile Out Station near Papunya, some 250 kilometres northwest of Alice Springs in the Northern Territory. Pintupi-Luritja woman Linda Tjungkata Anderson is wearing headphones, listening to a recording of her father's singing from 1976. She has never heard this recording before. In this episode, you'll hear both the legacy recording of her father and Linda's reaction as she listens. Linda has been a teacher at Papunya School for over 20 years. She has held the position of Vice President of Papunya Community Council, and she plays a leading role in community cultural life. Her father, Nosepeg Tjupurrula, was born in 1918, a Winamba man of the southern Pintupi region. He played an integral role in establishing Papunya community in the 1960s, undertaking remote trips to locate desert people throughout the 50s and the 60s. He was also a celebrity who entranced a series of filmmakers, journalists and academics with his wit, knowledge and charisma, appearing in 5 feature films including Jeddah. Linda is listening to her father sing a public ceremony or song set he calls Wanji Wanji. It was recorded by New Zealand musicologist Richard Moyle. Richard's research career spans 50 years, including 10 years of fieldwork in Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, the Northern Cook Islands, Central Australia and Taku. His 1979 landmark book, Pintupi Music, was the culmination of his research on traditional Pintupi songs, and his recordings are held at the Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies.
Sydney University musicologist and linguist Myfany Turpin documents Aboriginal song. Her research interests include the relationship between language and music, identifying ways to support the continuation of endangered languages and performing arts. Part of her work involves returning recordings such as these back to the communities of origin and to find out more about the songs and the people who sang them. This interview is one of the many that Myfany has made with cultural custodians as they listen to the recordings. This is part of the MMT1 collection that has been archived at PARADISEC. As Linda listens to the half-hour recording of her father singing, she paints a picture of her childhood when such corroborees songs were part of everyday life. She reflects on how her children and grandchildren have missed out on this.
My name is Linda Tjungkata Anderson, and we used to wake up every morning when they sang Yeah. Even when they waited for Taka, like food would be cooking, and we would wait and listen to old people singing as we waited for whatever was cooking. Mm. Just like, when nowadays we listen to radio, and we wake up to radio being played in the morning. We used to listen to them singing. No radio, but beautiful singing from elders, nice, soft, and yeah. It's like going on a journey, and the song would take to places after places, and every little song had a message. Whether there's something, getting up or crawling, or so when they sing and say it, it's like message to the children. Let's put it this way. It's just like a story book. When you're flipping over pages, you would hear one page about that particular picture. So it's like that, similar. I used to love going to corroboree night. Better than loud music. In the 60s, we used to sit and listen to their songs and corroborees. Different parts took different action of corroborees while they, dance and perform that particular part. So old women used to call out, "Hey, you children, it's corroboree time," and I used to be the first one sitting, because I really liked the singing. And us the women are, missing out on that, and it's really, sad when that is not happening anymore. Because our children missed out a lot on that, and their children's gonna miss on that. Unless it's, introduced back, because different cultures coming in and taking a culture, taking over. We were lucky. Yeah, it's another part of song to maybe another place about food. Because we Cherkis read. Some may have traveled, and when they travel, they share songs. That might have happened before. This is, when women go out, they share songs, and they sing it, and they talk about this is experience I had when I used to take children out bush, and I used to hear elders singing and performing a dance, and they used to share it from other people with their permission. And they used to say, oh, this is, what I was taught from my auntie or my mother or grandmother. On NITV, I watched all three women singing our songs. And Pintupi-Luritja, Pintupi, women singing their songs. So they share it around. Especially when they're doing that with particular country song. Yeah. When they teaching the young children. I was talking to my son this morning as we were coming into Papania. He should be listening to his grandfather singing and learning his songs.
Tetuan nata, na, Tetuan, indeed, Tetuan, Tetuan.
Nan binjaku.
Na, temple ba. All the time, that's all the time.
When I first knew my father, and that's when I first heard him a couple of times at Warruia. There used to be a place called Warruia that I first met my dad there when I was about 7. Because my mum said, oh, you got to start visiting your dad because he wants to know you and you want to know him. So that was my first opportunity to go and meet him. And that's when I went and saw him at Warruia. Yeah, they used to take males from Papania, 1972, 70. They used to take mail from Papania to Warruia. And my father came on that mail truck, and he came and got me. And we went and halfway been on an accident. But we were okay. And then went to Warruia. And I stayed there, visited family, got to know my other sister and brothers. Actually, there was only 3 of them. One adopted one. And because Dad had married the wife, Nyingura, when she had the first son. So I met him and he became my brother too. That was lovely because if I wouldn't have, went there, I wouldn't have knew them, half of my family, but I know them now. I visit them, I go to funeral, and they come and see me. So when I go to other country, they know him by that name. And they start to, getting me into their family, When they say, oh, this is my, my father. Yeah, I know that old. When I speak to old people, they know him because he had been, living around their place in the old bungalow days. And when I go to Eastern Islander place, they know him. Old people, old men, old women, and Walpri everywhere. Walpri, they know me, they call my dad, oh, famous man. Oh, that Tjupurrula, famous man. When I did my university degree in Sydney, at Macquarie Uni, I was doing research. I went to Canberra and looked at his biography, tried to find where he came from and what language he spoke. But a little bit when he spoke, it wasn't real that Pintupi language. It was something around southern Pintupi. They call it the Winanpa, because that's the language. It's on a book. Jeremy Long wrote a book, and that's the language he put. Maybe Dad gave that language to him. A little bit like Ngātatara. Because when I went there, they said, oh, your father lived around here and this is his country, Chukula. So I visited some of the country and my relatives who still lived there told me a little bit about how my father used to own the country. Your lover was really good part of my life. Child growing up, I used to love going to corroborees, sitting around with my people and listening to, and it was just like bedtime story for me. Yeah, made me go to sleep, ready for school tomorrow, the next day. That's why I tell my granddaughter, I tell a little story about my childhood memories too. And she'll always ask me questions and I sometimes make a big pause and then retell it again. Because she asked me, a lot of questions. Why is it not, this not happening. Really sad for, children to ask, because we sad to hear that too, like not happening. Because our old people, went away with those rich values and knowledge. Like I said, many of the old people aren't around, and not very much practice is happening. Like some should come to school, and because when I look at world media, they still continue going and visiting country, and that should be happening in all schools.
Yeah. Yalangan pi mua cha tala. Malu kemana para kana. Arindil bina.
Thank you, Linda Anderson and Myfany Turpin, for sharing this interview with us. It has been a glimpse into the songs and culture of the Pintupi people of Central Australia.
And thank you to our listeners for joining us. If you would like more information about PARADISEC, the work we do and the online catalogue, you can visit our website at www.paradisec.org.au.
Toksave Culture Talks was launched as part of the United Nations International Year of Indigenous Languages in 2019.
We would like to acknowledge the support of the Australian Research Council's Centre of Excellence for the Dynamics of Language and the University of Sydney, the University of Melbourne and the Australian National University.